Mario had once been a prosperous farmer, but carelessness and poor decisions had cost him everything. Now he and his wife lived in a crumbling cottage where winter winds whistled through cracked walls and rain dripped through holes in the roof. They barely had enough food for themselves, so when his wife gave birth to a baby girl, Mario felt both joy and terror. His wife wept as she held their newborn. How will we feed her when we can barely feed ourselves? Mario tried to comfort her, promising they would find a way. He knew they needed to find a godmother for their daughter, someone who would help guide and protect her. He went to their neighbor first, but the woman refused. "We're as poor as you are," she said coldly. "Why should we take on your troubles?" Mario returned home, heartbroken. His wife reminded him how different things had been when they were wealthy. Back then, everyone wanted their friendship, even the governor himself. Now, not even their poorest neighbor would help them. As winter's bitter cold threatened their fragile baby, Mario's wife had a desperate idea. She suggested asking the governor's wife to be their daughter's godmother, since she had already agreed to be godmother to another child in the area. Reluctantly, Mario made the long walk to the governor's mansion, past the fields that had once belonged to him. When he made his request, the governor's wife was outraged. "Everyone is struggling right now," she snapped. "I can't afford to help someone as poor as you. How dare you come here expecting favors when you have nothing to offer in return?" She practically threw him out of her house. Mario walked home in despair and told his wife what had happened. She cried, but he refused to give up hope. He decided to take their baby to the church himself and asked the first person he met on the road to be her godmother. His wife wrapped their daughter in an old blanket, and Mario set off, carrying his precious child carefully in his arms. After walking for hours, he encountered an elderly woman shuffling along the road. She wore ragged, dirty clothes and walked with difficulty, her back bent with age. Mario hesitated, then approached her and explained his situation. To his amazement, the old woman's face lit up with a warm smile. "Of course I will," she said gently, taking the baby in her arms. "I would be honored to be godmother to such a beautiful child whose father loves her so dearly." They walked together to the church, where the priest was preparing to leave for the day. When he saw Mario and the raggedly dressed old woman, he seemed annoyed at the interruption, but the godmother quietly pulled a shining silver coin from her dress and handed it to the priest. His attitude changed immediately, and he instructed his assistant to prepare for a proper christening ceremony. The baby was named Brittany, and the service was surprisingly grand. After the ceremony, the old woman walked with Mario back to the spot where they had first met. She handed Brittany back to him, then reached into her pocket and tucked another silver coin inside the baby's blanket. "This is my gift to your child," she said kindly. "It will provide everything she needs to grow up well. This little one will bring you and your wife great joy, and when she's grown, she'll have a long and happy marriage." Then she touched the ground, and instantly a magnificent tree appeared, covered in fragrant blossoms. When Mario turned to thank her, the old woman had vanished. Stunned and confused, Mario stood holding Brittany, looking all around. He might have stayed there much longer, but the baby began crying for her lunch, so he started the journey home. Along the way, he checked to make sure the silver coin was still tucked in the blanket. When he pulled it out, it suddenly multiplied into 10 coins that fell from his hand onto the ground. He stood there speechless, then gathered them up, laughing with joy. His wife was waiting anxiously at home, cold and hungry in their empty house. When Mario arrived with a huge smile on his face, she could hardly believe it. He told her everything that had happened, and when she reached into the blanket for the coin, the same miracle occurred. The coin became 10, then 20, then 30. They kept multiplying until a glittering pile of gold lay before them on the floor. They sat together, laughing and crying at once. Mario's wife suddenly grew frightened, wondering if the money was cursed or if the old woman had been an evil spirit. But Mario reassured her that no evil spirit would enter a church. He believed the godmother was a good angel sent by God to help them. They agreed to keep their secret safe and tell no one the truth about where their fortune came from. The very next day, Mario began buying back everything they had lost. This time, however, he managed his wealth with wisdom and care. He built a beautiful home, purchased fine livestock, and cultivated healthy crops. His farm became the most prosperous in the entire region. But more importantly, Mario and his wife became known for their kindness and generosity, always ready to help any struggling farmer who fell on hard times. Brittany grew into a lovely young woman who brought her parents endless joy, exactly as her godmother had promised. A wealthy prince fell deeply in love with her and asked for her hand in marriage. She accepted, and they shared a long and happy life together. Mario and his wife remained healthy and content as they aged, and on quiet evenings they would sit by the fire, remembering the day when a mysterious godmother appeared on a lonely road and gave them something far more valuable than gold. She had given them a second chance, and they had learned to treasure it with grateful hearts.